There is a common question that I often get on my YouTube channel, whether it's in the comments or in my Instagram and Twitter DMs, and it always happens to be this exact same question. And in today's video, I am going to address the answer to that question. The main question that I often get is, okay, Echoes, well, you always say that certain people are bad or bad actors in finance or don't know anything about stocks. Who are the people on YouTube Finance who are good to follow that I can actually go to and learn about investing? And in today's video, I am going to explain that to you. We're also going to get straight to the point. There's not going to be any name calling. I'm going to try and be as fair as I can. And so let's just go ahead and get into the video. So the title of this video obviously is the best versus the worst stock pickers on YouTube. The reason why I feel that this question is so important to answer is because, in my personal opinion, there are a ton of bad people on YouTube Finance, bad actors, bad people who have no interest in helping you achieve the American dream and make a lot of money. And quite frankly, a lot of people who don't even know about investing or even understand the basics of investing principles and how to actually make money. So let's just go ahead and get right into the list. First, we're going to start off with the worst people on YouTube Finance that I do not think anybody should follow or listen to for stock advice. And let's just go ahead and get right into it. Number one is Meet Kevin. Okay. Now I know I've went back and forth with Meet Kevin plenty of times. He's come on my channel. Him and I have debated. I get it, all that stuff. But regardless of the fact that I do respect him for coming on my channel, I have to be 100% honest, you guys, when I say that he is without a doubt one of the worst stock pickers on YouTube. There's just no doubt in my mind, and the proof is in the pudding. As a matter of fact, if you just look at some of the stocks that he's called, most of these stocks that he talked about them when they were at least either at or very close to their all-time highs. And if you just look at some of these stocks now, they have fallen tremendously. For crying out loud, some of the stocks that the guy has named have been Matterport, Robinhood, Affirm, Trade Desk, Shift Technologies, EXPI, Peloton, Lemonade, Etsy, Wayfair, Tattooed Chef, Pinterest, Redfin. The list just goes on. And don't get me wrong, guys. I want to make sure I'm very fair. Meet Kevin is a very smart guy, and he's not the worst when it comes to the news. However, I think that that is the only thing that he should be followed or listened to for, is strictly the news and entertainment. I would not go to this guy to actually learn how to become a good investor or a good stock picker, because the proof is in the pudding with this guy that he's just not a good stock picker. Okay, moving on. I'm going to put all three of these people in the same category because they're all kind of the exact same person, especially considering the fact that all three of them are actually friends. That is Keenan Grace, Stock Mo, and Larry Jones. Okay, all three of them, in my opinion, obviously I'm not going to call them any names, but in my personal opinion, I think all three of them are terrible stock pickers. They all have talked about the biggest meme coins and meme stocks in the history of the stock market, that being AMC, GameStop, Shiba Inu, which is a cryptocurrency, Mullen, different things like that. I'll even throw like a Neo in there. They've all talked about those types of investments. And my biggest issue with all three of them, and it's very similar to what I see with Meet Kevin and other investors, they never go in depth. Okay, there's never any valuation models. There's never any in-depth qualitative research. There's no individual looking at an actual business to see how the management's doing, how the financials are looking. None of these three YouTubers ever in life look at financials. And the reason why they don't do that is because, in my personal opinion, I strongly believe that they don't know how. They do not know how to read a balance sheet. They do not know how to read the statement of cash flows. They do not know how to read the income statement. They probably don't even know what those three things I just said were. And that is the scariest thing, in my opinion. If you want my honest opinion, I think that all three of those guys are beginners. They really don't know much about investing. I mean, if you just ask them simple questions like how to calculate a PE ratio or something like that, they probably wouldn't even be able to answer the question. And when you watch a lot of their videos, there's just absolutely no substance to anything that they're saying. It's really just this blah, blah, blah talk and what's going on. And it's like regurgitated information of what they watched on CNBC for that day. Seriously, that's really what you're saying here. The next person I actually want to talk about that is terrible to follow is Jeremy LaFave with Financial Education. Now, this guy might be one of the worst, and I mean the absolute worst, stock pickers on YouTube. I mean, for crying out loud, if I go to my Jeremy LaFave list, there's no question in my mind. First off, let's just get to the part that some of the stocks that he's recommended have literally gone bankrupt. I mean, for crying out loud, Smile Direct Club is almost about to go bankrupt. Voyager Digital did go bankrupt. And then he's got a couple of other stocks that have all become penny stocks, even though they weren't originally penny stocks when he talked about them. I mean, for crying out loud, some of his stock picks are The Honest Company, HNST, Tattooed Chef, which is his most popular one, Oatly, Palantir, Corsair Gaming. I mean, the list goes on. Jeremy Lefebvre is without a doubt, even if you like the way he speaks or talks about the stock market, that's fine. If you follow him for information, I completely understand. But there cannot be a dispute. It cannot be disputed. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that has some sort of investing brain or just a little bit of investing knowledge that Jeremy Lefebvre doesn't know anything when it comes to stocks. Absolutely nothing. Zero. The proof is in the pudding. I don't care about the fact that Jeremy got a 1,000% return in Tesla stock. Congratulations. Good for you. You got lucky. But if we look at all of his other stock picks, honestly, somebody with just basic information, just basic intelligence of how to analyze an individual company would be able to easily tell you that a lot of these unprofitable trash companies are bad investments. But why doesn't Jeremy recognize that these are all bad investments? Because he doesn't know what he's doing. Again, it goes back to that saying, he doesn't know how to read financials. He doesn't know how to value a stock. He does not know how to actually analyze a business, because had he known this, it would have been very easy to tell and see that Palantir is not a good investment at $20, that Tattooed Chef was not a good investment at $25, that Voyager Digital was not a good investment at $15, and all the other terrible trash stocks that he has talked about on his platform. Okay, so obviously you guys already knew that I was going to talk about the usual suspects. Let's go ahead and bring in another person. Chris Sain is another terrible investor. And again, I get it. These guys have huge followings. Their followings are ginormous. They have all these views. Well, they don't get many views anymore, but back in the bull market, back during the bubble days in 2021, these guys were getting an insane amount of views on all their videos. They talked about all of the hype and meme stocks that were popular on Reddit forums and social media. But unfortunately, when you really peel back the surface and you really analyze and pay attention to everything these dudes are saying in their YouTube channels, you realize that they know nothing about what the heck they're talking about. And Chris Sain absolutely falls in that list too. Chris Sain has an insane amount of terrible stock picks that he's talked about as well. GNUS, BBIG, Mullen, Fuel Sales, Zomedica, Future FinTech Company, BNGO, Palantir, Ideanomics, AvePoint, Hyliion, Golden Nugget Online Gaming. I mean, the list goes on. Like I said, and we're just being honest here, guys. I know it's not the nicest thing to say, but the point of this video that I'm making here is to actually help you. These guys don't know what they're talking about when it comes to picking individual stocks, and they just are not good investors. They probably couldn't even answer the most basic of basic questions when it comes to investing, and I do not recommend that any new investor follow these channels for any sort of stock advice. If you want to follow them for entertainment or because you like their personalities, that's perfectly fine. But I would not take any stock picks, recommendations, advice, or any type of financial advice from any of these channels, because at the end of the day, the only reason why these channels or these personalities behind these channels even have money is because their YouTube channels blew up. And we all know there's a lot of money in YouTube if you could get the views. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the best stock pickers on YouTube, which of course is obviously my opinion. All right, moving on to the actual good finance channels. Now, unfortunately, there are not very many good finance channels on YouTube filled with people who actually know what the flapjack they're talking about. However, there are a few, and I'm going to go ahead and name them right now. One of them is Unrivaled Investing. The guy's name is Daniel. He is an excellent channel. If you actually want to learn about how to actually analyze and value and look at a stock and actually learn how to pick individual stocks and actually do a somewhat decent job at doing it, I do think that Daniel with Unrivaled Investing is one of the best channels to do that. He's got about 50,000 subscribers. Again, the amazing thing about YouTube is YouTube tries to push the videos that are more entertaining and that they think people are going to click on. Unfortunately, most people come to YouTube to be entertained, not to actually learn. And so another big part of this video is to show you guys the people who are, you know, not as entertaining. However, they do give great information and they will help you become a better investor because these guys know what they're talking about. So yeah, Unrivaled Investing, Daniel with Unrivaled Investing is one of the best channels to follow for that. Moving on to the next channel. This guy is so good. I am actually a member of this guy's community. His name is Fabio with Capital Mindset. Fabio is an excellent channel as well. Again, he knows how to value a stock. He knows how to look at financials. He knows how to analyze a business. He knows how to look at the pros and the cons, the risk versus the reward, whether the management is actually doing a good job with the cash flow that they're getting in, whether it's a stock is a value trap. He's very, very good. And he actually has a finance background. He has a finance and accounting background, and he just overall just knows what he's doing. So Fabio Capital Mindset is another one. Another channel that I really like is called the Investor Channel. This guy's name is Colin with the Investor Channel. This guy mostly focuses on looking at the financials of companies. He looks at the balance sheet. He looks at the income statement. And this guy does a very good job breaking it down in a simple way that anybody can understand. He doesn't make it overly complicated, but he does a very good job at analyzing companies and breaking down why certain stocks are hot freaking garbage and why you should stay away. He was one of the people who actually talked about a lot of the YouTube and the meme stocks and warned people that those were terrible investments. Even though a lot of people got angry with him in the comments, he still kept it real and told the truth. And he is one of the best investors on the platform. Another YouTube channel that I think everybody should follow, this guy's name is Kingdom of Finance. Kingdom of Finance has an excellent channel. He's got about 2,000 subscribers, I think, something like that. But this guy does in-depth, short, but in-depth, like 8 or 9 minute videos actually going over a stock. And he actually breaks down and explains to you why a stock is a buy, why it's not a buy, why it's a good stock, or why a stock is trash, in his words. He loves calling certain stocks trash, and I completely understand, because there are a lot of trash stocks that get pumped on a YouTube platform that a lot of retail investors unfortunately buy, like Neo and Palantir. But anyway, yeah, so Kingdom of Finance is an excellent channel to follow as well, because he's just one of those channels who actually knows what the heck they're doing and actually knows how to look at a stock and research it. Not just all this blah, blah, blah talk with not really saying anything. He's actually saying something when he talks, and that's why I appreciate his channel. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.